Are you thinking of putting some money into a CD or certificate of deposit? Well, the benefit of that is that money can be safe and you're not going to have to worry about, say the market fluctuations that you may get if invested in maybe stocks or bonds. And CDs, generally speaking, you can somewhat guarantee the results or the earnings even before going in. So if you find a good paying CD in terms of the annual percentage yield, you can predict, okay, this money is put into these accounts and you kind of just leave it there. That is very important, by the way, because if you're going to put your money into a certificate deposit, you should know that that money will be left alone, untouched until maturity. And then you can decide on what you want to do with it once it matures. Now, before I get into talking more about the 4 CDs that are currently available, let me introduce myself. My name is Steven, and on this channel I'll talk about investing, saving, and how we can make money. In short, that is my main focus on this channel. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join the channel. Now, one of the things that I want you to understand when it comes to CDs is that in as much as they are good for short to medium term range planning, okay, so let's assume that you're trying to save for a car, you're trying to save for a house, and you're not able to put that money into the market, like the stock market, because you're worried you may lose money in the short term, then it's best to sometimes put money into CDs. Another alternative, though, to CDs would be high yield savings account, just so that you can make the most return. But generally speaking, you are able to make more returns on your CDs than you would get on a high yield savings account. But of course, do your own research before you put this money into this account. Now, the first bank here that I will share with you that is currently offering something decent is Capital One. And on the screen right now, they are offering about 4.4% APY with an 11-month 360 CD. Sometimes you may see different setups for these CDs, but the key thing is make sure you understand what you're putting your money into before you even go in to open the account and deposit the money. But as you can see, this offers special 11-month CDs with 4.4% annual percentage yield, and the different ones with 2 years, 5 years. But what I really want to show you here is if you were to invest, and I hope you can see that code. If you wanted to invest, let's say you wanted to save about $5,000, you deposited that money and you left it for, let's say, 6 months. This is what you're going to get in interest, and then your earnings will be about 105. Now, 105 doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to remember that if that money was saved in a bank account, then of course you wouldn't even make that. And let's even change this to maybe $10,000. That's about 210. So that is not bad. So I just wanted to show that to you just so that you can see how it changes. Now, something that you may also notice is why is maybe a 24-month CD only paying 3.8 and a 6-month is paying 4.2? That is because as interest rates are projected to drop in the near future, that would cause these CDs to pay less as well. So the bank is also trying to stay ahead of the curve because they know that interest rates will start dropping soon, especially with the Fed's meeting sometime this month, and they start to drop the current federal funds rate. That would cause the interest they pay as well to reduce, and that's why they've kind of projected this number. So these numbers will generally change, and that's why you can see it says that the APY are variable and effective as of 9/13/2024. So you can see this is as of today, actually, at the recording of this video. So this changes based on the market itself, based on what the government is doing. The second one that I would like to share with you is, and I'm sorry if you guys didn't see that part, but the second one I'd like to share with you is the high yield certificate of deposit from Marcus by Goldman Sachs. If you're going to invest or save some money for about 12 months, you can get about 4.6% APY, which is not bad in my opinion, considering it's very hard for you to come by some of these type high paying CDs, even from the typical banks that you would see around. The next bank that I'm going to touch on here is the one from Synchrony, and they're going to pay about 4.8% APY to 9 months. Now, one of the things to remember is that if for any reason you have to withdraw some of this money, there might be a penalty, and they offer a no penalty CD for up to 11 months, and it says no early withdrawal penalty if you need to access your money. But if you go with, let's say, something like this one here, then there's probability or high chances of them penalizing you for withdrawing early. So that's something that you need to keep in mind when it comes to investing in CDs. And the last one that I want to share with you here pays about 5.1 APY for a 6-month CD. And as you can see, for 3 months, interest rate is 0.1%. Of course, nobody will want to do that. But anything from 6 months is about 4.9 with an APY of 5.1, which is what you really want to focus on, because this is what your money earns at the end of the day in terms of the yield you get in return. Now, one of the most important lessons though is that as you go invest in these CDs, always plan on what you will do. Now, sometimes some people will do short-term CDs and they kind of ladder them. So which means that, you invest, let's say you have $10,000, you can put $5,000 in a 6-month CD, and then you have another $5,000 in a 12-month CD. So what will happen is that as the first 6 months elapses, the first $5,000 that you invested becomes available to you, and then you can choose to decide, do I take my money and use it for a certain purpose that I need it for, or do you invest it again? So what you then do is, since you have another one that is currently still ongoing, the second one, this second part of the $10,000, so another $5,000 that is currently invested for 12 months, that would only have 6 months left. So the $5,000 that is now available to you can then be invested or reinvested into another CD for maybe another 12 months. So what will happen is that for every 6 months, you would always have some money available to you. So you kind of repeat that cycle. And the benefit of that also is that if interest rates maybe changes, especially if it goes up and your APY goes up, you're able to capture those new rates as you reinvest that money. On the other hand, of course, if interest rates goes down, you may end up you may not be able to make as much. It's just something to keep in mind as you look into CDs. Just wanted to share that with you, and I'll see you in the next one.